Firebase Auth is a secure authentication system that allows users to sign in and sign up for your application. It also allows federated identity through providers like Facebook, Twitter, and of course Google. Now, when doing this, your users will demand a rich user experience, and providing this, as well as solving identity problems, can be a lot of work. Luckily, FirebaseUI makes all of this really easy. And in this video, I'll show you how to do a sign in and sign up with Google in a web app, as well as using an email password combination. Before we start, you'll need to create a Firebase project and then enable authentication on it. The console will then provide you with code snippets to put in your web page. Let's take a look. Step 1. Create a new project in the Firebase console. Step 2. Enable authentication. Click Get Started, click Set Up Sign In Method, enable email password, and enable Google. Step 3. If you're going to run these pages on your own domain, be sure to add the domain name. Step 4. Go back to the overview screen and click Add Firebase to your web app. Then you'll get the initialization code. Okay, now we've done everything we need on the Firebase backend. The next step is to build a site that presents sign-in options. This takes you to a page once you've signed in and displays information about the user on that page. And that's it. It's just 2 web pages. But wait, surely when signing in you might need to build more pages, things like choosing between different accounts on the machine, something like this. Or if you want to sign up a new user, then you probably need something like this. Well, the good news is Firebase Auth UI does all of that for you. Let's just build our pages and we'll see it in action. Here's my first page. It's just basic. It's near empty HTML. Remember that code from the Firebase console? Well, I'll just paste that in, and then from GitHub, I can use the code for the sign-in widget. You can find that code here, and I'll paste it here. Yes, that's GitHub, because Firebase Auth UI is fully open source. I need to configure it to tell it which page to redirect to after signing in, and also which providers I'm using. Earlier, if you remember, I turned on email and Google, so I'll do that here. And now the logged in page. Again, it's pretty basic, and I just paste in the same code. Note this part. It's a callback that happens when the auth state changes. So we'll write a little info about the user to the page in that case. And that's it. That's all the coding we need to do. So you now have a page with 2 sign-in buttons. There's a sign in with Google button and a sign in with email button. Think about the different flows for a sign in with Google button. I might have no Google accounts on this machine, in which case I have to give the user the facility to create one. Or there might be more than one account signed in this browser, in which case I have to give the user the ability to choose one of them. Or of course, I might have a user already signed in with Google, in which case I should just sign them right in. Let's see this in action. Okay, I now have a browser with no Google account signed in. I click Sign In and I get this. As I have email sign in as an option, it falls back to email sign in. But I really want to sign in with Google, so I need a Google account. So if I select More Options, I can do that. And this is all without writing any code for it. Okay, here's the next scenario. I have multiple accounts signed in on this browser. So when I try to sign in, it gives me an account chooser. That's pretty neat, right? And then there's this simple scenario. I have one account in this browser, so when I click Sign In, I should just sign straight in, and I am. So, lots of different user flows, but you're given the optimal standard user interface without needing to write any code. And that's what the open source Firebase Auth UI does for you. So we just saw what happens when a user tries to sign in with Google. But what if you want to keep your own user store and not federate to an identity provider like ours? Well, no problem. The email sign-in gives you just that. If you try to sign in with email, what Firebase will do is list the Google accounts based on their email address that are signed into this browser already. But if you don't want one of them and you just want to use your own, you can sign in with that too. But of course, you might need a sign up page so that someone can create an email identity to sign into your site with. And that's also provided for you. Google Smart Lock will even save it for you if you want. Let's see that in action. I'm now back on my home page and I'll select Sign in with email. Here are 2 email addresses that I signed in with previously. If I pick one of them, I'll get either the Google sign-in password entry, if it's a Google ID, or the email password one, if it's an identity I set up on this page. I enter the password and I'm logged in. Signing up a new account is easy. You just click the Add Account button, enter the details, username and password, and the account will be created. One subtle but powerful part of this is that Firebase Auth UI also detects and prompts your users to use the sign-in method that they previously had used. So, for example, if they had signed in with Google previously, they will be taken directly there to do so again, saving them time and effort and saving you a lot of code. And that's it. Great UX for signing in and signing up. Very little coding for you. I hope you enjoyed this screencast on how to do Firebase Auth UI on the web. As always, leave me questions in the comments below and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.